Full Spectrum Warrior as the philosophy kind of came together when I just started getting into the firearms training with the military. My military history is with the Navy, and I was in the SEAL teams. I was a sniper with SEAL Team 10, and in the training to be a Navy SEAL, there was just so much more than the aspect of the shooting and the fighting. To be a good fighter, there's all these other aspects that come together. Of the Full Spectrum Warrior, each one of these swords identifies a different aspect of our training. To be a good and effective fighter, there's multiple aspects that we have to focus on. It's just not shooting accuracy and time. There's way more to it. So when the clients come here, one of the things that we want them to leave with is an opportunity to doing drills and skill building drills and techniques that they're not allowed to do at other shooting ranges. What we do out here is we make the training drills very complex. One of our things is strategic thinking under stress. And we now get people to do problem solving while incorporating it into a shooting drill. Because in the reality of it is, all our bad guys aren't going to be necessarily right in front of us. In an environment, we might not know which direction the attack is coming from. There might be more than one threat. I specifically designed our shooting range to allow us to do things like 360 training. We can't just shoot at someone who we thought had a weapon, but it was really a cell phone. So that target identification, making a decision faster than we shoot. In many cases, we shoot really, really fast, and we'll see guys go out to the range and they study the drill, they study the range, and they go bing, bing, bing. They start getting that muscle memory down so they can make the movement as short as possible to race the clock. We'll do a lot of drills out here that if you shoot like that, you're not able to think as fast as you're shooting and you shoot the wrong targets. So we make it much more technical, so that way we're developing the person's brain and their thought process and decision-making process, in addition to them being able to shoot accurately and fast. I want people to be, strategic thinkers who can shoot. So our property here is 55 acres. 35 of the acres is water, but we get around that because for our long gun training out here, we'll actually shoot across this big lake that we have. So one of the things that's really cool with that too, in addition to just getting to shoot a lot further than most people can on a private range here in Florida, is you don't feel like you're at a shooting range. You're out here in the middle of the woods. It doesn't look like a shooting range. It doesn't feel like a shooting range. So the whole experience is extremely enjoyable, but it's also very beneficial from a skill set standpoint at the same time. Yeah, so out here, I don't really train anyone the same way I train everyone. We're gonna get to that end result, but it's based on the individual needs for a specific topic every single time. My background growing up was in Thai boxing. I've been Thai boxing for over 20 years now. And I've trained in multiple combative fight systems from all over the world. The one that we teach here most commonly is Nauka, which is a Serbian-based combative system. And the reason I like Nauka so much is it's a very simple, gross motor movement, fight style that allows us to transition very easily from our handgun or a rifle into our flashlight, to use as a weapon. We call it upgrading your strike, anything we can put in our hands. But the movements are simple and they're gross motor skills, and they're movements that are easy to remember. So I found there's a lot of great martial arts out there, but some of the stuff is just so technical, it's gonna take you years to perfect it. And the Nauka system is very simplistic. You still have to practice it, obviously, but it's very simplistic in the ideas and the concepts, and you're able to visualize it and remember it and repeat it very quickly. I've done a lot of work with canine. I did quite a bit of work as a dog handler and trainer on the civilian side. And now what we've done is we've started a nonprofit called Homefront Canine Project, and we train up service dogs and emotional support dogs for active duty special forces families, along with disabled veterans. It's heartbreaking when someone commits suicide after all that service that they've done for the country, and then they come back only, to win all those fights, only to lose their own spiritual fight when they get home. So we're trying to do a preemptive strike on it and work with these dogs and get them into these families ahead of time. We've had multiple stories of people who've come here and gone through this training and then actually got into real situations and used what they've learned. And then they write me an email or a letter or whatever, give me a phone call. They're like, dude, I can't believe it. That stuff you taught me, it just saved my life. And I've had police officers who've been on the job for 16 years and they've come and trained with me and they're like, dude, I just learned more in the last 2 days than I have in 16 years. And I'm not trying to brag on this. It's just, this is the feedback that I've consistently got, is I keep getting hired to come back in and teach people, or people keep coming here because they like the approach and the way that I teach. One of the things that, you know, they praised me on was they said, Rich, you got a really good way of taking complex things and making them simple for people to learn. And we really like your approach, and we really like how you come in and it's not a lot of ego, and it's just really down to earth and simplistic, and the guys can understand it and retain it and then duplicate it, which is really important.